So hi guys, hi everyone. Good evening to all my friends who are watching or who will be watching me later on YouTube, guys. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone. And today's session is going to be the second part, guys. Yes, the second part to the first actual part that we have introduced on YouTube. I'm talking about the most important part of any corporate world, guys, the interviews preparation. Check out the part 1 video that we have uploaded on YouTube. Stay connected with us to know the furthermore details that we are going to provide. Once again, guys, we as a Mastery Academy have launched in a new batch, a pre batch, that is going to guide students in the world of corporate MNC's world, where we are going to guide you from the beginning to the end. We are going to tell you the various ways with which you can build up a career for yourself into a dream sector that you are actually looking for. So download the application, guys. The Mastery Academy conducts all these sessions and training platforms as the online tool. So download the application from Google Play Store. Definitely the links have been uploaded in the description, and stay connected with us on YouTube and Instagram, and join us on the various social platforms that we have been introduced as a Mastery Academy, so that the notifications and important discussions and details related to the corporate world will be brought to you on a particular time, so that you will have enough opportunity to lead into this sector. Yes, guys, as I was talking about the batch, guys, the batch initially had concluded to start on from the upcoming month of February. That has been started actually, but we thought of conducting a free workshop, free sector, or some free sessions on YouTube, so that you'll get the idea, you'll get a hold of the approach that we as Mastery Academy have been introduced. And once more, guys, the details of this particular batch, the batch will be conducted for a period of about 2 months, okay, 45 days. Entire the training session is going to carry on. The sessions will be available to you on the application of Mastery Academy. Once more, guys, stay connected with us. Do let us know your ideas, your suggestions, your criticism, and any development that you need on your behalf to the Mastery Academy. Okay, so having been said that, guys, let me come back to the session that we were concluded about in the previous part. See, interview preparation is an most important part that let it be a fresher or an experienced person, he can conclude in his entire life of the corporate world. So before coming and entering into this particular video of today's session part 2, I humbly ask you all to check the first part, so that you will stay connected with this part. Okay, I have concluded half of the session in the first part, and today I am going to be discussing about the main part that I was going to conclude about. So on a short basis, in the previous session I had talked about how actually the research and the analysis part that a person has to do before preparing himself for the interview. And then I had talked about the dress codes, the punctuality and involvement, as to how it actually matters in the multinational world. And then, guys, I had suggested that the interview actually has been built up on a format. Okay, it is not that each and every person can ask questions as and however he wants. Okay, the HR can ask questions related to the content and the topic. And I had also discussed about the greetings and the essential part of introduction that one has to actually induce into, so that you can have a friendly talk with the HR. Okay, now today I am going to be discussing about the main part. Yes, guys, there are actually 3 main parts to the interviews. So greeting and ending, that is the additional part on a friendly and a neighborhood basis. But mainly the main part of interview actually has been divided into 3 parts. So today I am going to be discussing about those parts. Now in the previous videos, if you have any doubts, and a number of students, guys, before starting up, once again, a number of students have been asking, sir, where to apply for the notifications that you are providing us. See, like I have always said, guys, finding a job and landing onto a particular platform that you actually wish for, you have to work yourself. Okay, you are not going to get something out of like a magical thing. You have to analyze, you have to create these opportunities, and luck, that is a different thing. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but you have to actually work for that. Actually, if you would ask me, I would say, okay, just as a proposition, that you can only work as much as you want, as it is already built in the destiny. So that does not mean you should keep on uh, depending on destiny and luck. It is actually the work that you have to do. Okay, so apart from all those things, coming back to the main part. See, the main part of interview, guys, it has basically three parts. Okay, each and any interview, let it be from the engineering background, let it be from the medical field, pharmaceutical, or any industries or IT, non-IT sectors, each and every interview has basically three parts. The first part is the introduction part, as I was talking in the previous session. Okay, I am going to start up from here now, the main part. Say, introduction part of interviews, there is one common question that each and every HR asks after all the collaboration, after all the friendly discussion. He will say that let us get on with the interview. And the first question, after looking at your resume, the first question that any HR actually throws at you is this: tell us something about yourself, okay, or introduce yourself on a brief basis. Say, tell us something about yourself or talk about yourself. I think, guys, on a normal basis, it will conclude up to 50% of your interview. Okay, half of the interview completely depends on the answer that you provide to this particular question. Tell me about yourself. So this question is the most important question, and this question itself needs a different session. We are going to be conducting a different session on this, so especially because this concludes most part of the interview, the main part, so I cannot explain this in this whole interview preparation. So there is a different session for this. Check out that on the 50% behalf. I'll come back to the second part, interview questions. Okay, interview questions. After, suppose tell me something about yourself. Suppose a person introduces and he will talk about something, and as you might have seen or you are going to see, check out our video on that so that you will get an idea. So after that, the second stage that the interviewer or HR comes back is to the questions. See, you can expect about 5 to 8 questions that are already on a fixed basis. Okay, there are certain questions that a HR asks to the candidate, let him be a fresher or experienced person. There are a few questions that each and everyone has to make sure that he is definitely going to ask. Questions like such as why should we hire you? Okay, that is the first question each and every HR actually asks to every candidate. Okay, why should we hire you, or why are you changing the jobs, and what is wrong with the previous company if you had actually worked, and where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, and what is the main reason that you are entering our field, and what is the position of the company? Okay, there are a set of questions that are already fixed. I would say about 5 to 8 questions that are already fixed. So for that, I'm not going to go into an in-depth analysis and overall format. See, question answers and interview questions, you have to actually be prepared for those questions, and I'm not saying on a memorization basis, because suppose, for example, why should we hire you? Each and every candidate actually prepares the answer to that question, and when he walks into the interview, the HR asks him that question, he'll keep on answering that memorized format. Okay, like a robot. Okay, he is not looking here, he is not responding, he is actually behaving like a machine, completely saying line to line accurately what he has actually built in for. So always remember, guys, memorization and memory based answers are not going to induce that much of effect in the interview. Be natural. Okay, these are very simple and very frank and a very positive based question. Suppose there is a person who is already in an organization, he is asking you, so tell us that what your plans are. You're joining here, for example, you are joining in as a data analyst, okay, or a data scientist, or you're joining in as a web developer or designer, or into the field of networking or digital networking. Suppose I am the interviewer, I'll ask you, so tell us, why do you want to join this company? See, this is a normal question, right? You must have seen something in that company. Now don't directly tell me that you're walking into any company only because of salary. Okay, because thinking only in terms of salary is not going to get you into that interview. You should look at each and every factor, okay, the work ambience that the company provides, the opportunities, the position that the company has in the market, and what are its competitors doing, and how is it that you can help them, how is it that the company can utilize your skills and they will pay you for those skills. Okay, those are the things, those are common things. So you should be frank and you should be open. You should tell them, suppose if you're interested and keen and you want to make out a career into the corporate world, you should tell them, I wish to work, okay, I wish to work for about a year here as this position, then I am looking for another position. Through my efforts I intend to join into that program. Okay, and don't be personal. Don't say that my friend did that and I had seen that he had done that, so I am also doing this. Okay, references and copying something or going into the same path or cycle as the market is moving, okay, that is not going to work. See, the herd, in the case of economy, there is a subject, they talk it about herd pattern. Okay, sheep, मतलब गाय बकरियां वगैरह होते हैं ना, एक अगर किसी तरफ चले गए तो सभी उसके पीछे लग जाते हैं. Okay, that format of answers are not going to get you well into the interview questions, because it depends, guys. The interviewer, sometimes he might get serious. Okay, everyone knows that 2 plus 2 is 4, right? Each and every person, mathematically I'm talking about, okay, not in some kind of logical or twisted or reasoning basis. 2 plus 2 is 4, everyone knows that. But sometimes what happens, HR, he might ask you this question, so what is 2 plus 2? Okay, the person, definitely the person who is being interviewed, he'll definitely say it is 4, because we all know that 2 plus 2 is 4. Now the interviewer, he might react in a different way. He might say, huh, how is 2 plus 2 4? Okay, he might act somewhat in a shocked manner, or he might not be on the same page. So that are different format of questions. See, questions in interviews depend, guys, whether he is asking the question on an analytical basis, or whether the question is related to the psychometric format, or whether he actually wants to know how confident you are, or whether he wants to know how cooperative basis you are. Okay, it depends on your response. Some students say that 2 plus 2 is 4. How is that, sir? Okay, if the interviewer asks, okay, I've seen a lot of people reacting to that. There was one student, I was also present, 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, the interviewer asked, how is 2 plus 2 4? Have you completed even graduation? What are you talking about? So he was like in an angry mood. So the candidate, he responded in a different way. He said, अरे 2 plus 2 is 4, sir. दो और दो चार ही तो होंगे, फिर क्या होगा? He acted in a very rude manner. So the interviewer, he suddenly realized that this candidate belongs to category. Okay, what happens in MNCs, they have actually divided the jobs. Let it be 20 LPA jobs, or 45 LPA job, or 7 LPA job. They actually divide that on the basis of budget. So depending on the response that an individual provides to the HR, they categorize the candidate. Harsh answers, very rude answers, and answers that don't cooperate, that don't follow a particular format, they will, no, depending on this rude answer, he will put you here in 7 LPA. Okay, he is never going to give you more salary, because he will come to know that this person, he is not on a cooperative basis. Because always remember, each and every job requires 70 to 80% of cooperation and about 20% of skills and the knowledge that he has brought in. So always make sure interview questions, you prepare for those questions, but not on a very straightforward way. Always know the cycle that the interviewer is providing. You should follow him. Even though the interviewer is hard, you have to answer him on a neutral basis. Okay, and it is his job based. He is analyzing you. And always come prepared to the interviews. See, you might have noticed, if any interview is being conducted, they will give you some time. Okay, about 20 days, 10 days, they will provide you a date, right? There is a particular gap. Okay, 10 days, 15 days, they'll give you that gap. Why they give you that gap? Because they actually want you to get prepared according to the position. Now you have studied 3 years, 4 years, or you have done some certifications or professional degrees or courses. He is not expecting that you answer each and every question and everything that you have learned. He is only concerned about what you have learned that is going to help him, that is going to relate to the requirement. So only prepare according to the job role and according to the requirements, and that gap you have to analyze and you have to prepare and answer your questions on a neutral basis in a calm way. Okay, he is not going to fire you, he is not going to shoot you literally, I mean. this is an interview on a cooperative basis, and always maintain that boundary. Okay, I'm talking that you have to be friendly, but that does not mean that you have to indefine, or you have to wipe off that boundary of the recruiter and the candidate. Always maintain that respect of that he is the recruiter, you are the candidate, and talk to him on a friendly basis. Okay, and like I said about greetings, guys, always be don't be too serious. I've seen a number of candidates, they answer folding their hands. Okay, some might stand very bold, too much of overconfident, too much excited. See, mistakes do happen in interviews. Suppose, for example, an interviewer suddenly says, you are answering everything. Okay, you are answering everything, sir, but I think you're too overconfident. Okay, you are very bold. They say that in interviews. So the person who is actually the candidate, he might get very unhopeful. He will think that, अरे क्या बोल रहे हैं यार, ये तो कुछ और ही बोल रहे हैं, मैं कुछ बता रहा हूँ आंसर, ये कह रहा है कि मैं बड़ा कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ. Okay, you should not get demotivated. You should tell, you should talk. Sir, this is actually my first interview, or this is the interview that I wanted. I'm very much excited, sir. So I went on a little bit of, okay, थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया sir, कोई बात नहीं, sorry. Okay, that kind of conversation they expect in interview. It is not like jail-based situation. Okay, on a friendly basis, but always maintain those boundaries that each and every person maintains. Okay, that. And discussing about the questions, like I have said, guys, there are 5 to 8 questions which are completely fixed. You can expect those questions. Sorry, you can expect those questions in each and every interview. Why should we hire you? Okay, go prepared. Think, okay, why are you walking into that company, and why actually are you looking to work that, and actually why they are going to hire you. Tell them the strengths, okay, what your strengths are and how you can help them, and tell them those strengths that matter. Don't just keep on reading your resume. A number of candidates, they just keep on reading the resume. He's already seen your resume first. That is the reason he has invited you to interviews. Okay, he wants the elaboration on whatever you have mentioned in the resume देखा है उन्होंने आपका, इसीलिए आपको इंटरव्यू के लिए बुलाया है कि भाई साहब आपने यहाँ पे बताया कि आप वेब डेवलपर हो, तो क्या डेवलप किया आपने, आपको क्या जानकारी है इसके बारे में. ओके, सो यू हैव टू बी ऑन एन elaborate basis, express yourself in this question. And where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, a number of candidates say, we'll see, sir. Okay, after 5 years, I don't know, sir, I'll keep on working here, sir. Okay, those kind of questions, they suit for someone immature and irresponsible person. See, I'm not saying that immaturity, irresponsibility, those are bad things, but the task or the cycle that they work is different. But here in the professional world, you have to know actually what you're doing. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Be prepared. Okay, before going, think, अरे मैं इसी कंपनी में अगर रहा 5 साल से काम करते तो क्या होगा मेरा हाल. Okay, where am I going to reach? Will I be working in the same position, or do I have some hope that I'll work and I'll move a step forward? Okay, those kind of things. Actually think, remind that, and go prepared. Okay, without preparation, definitely you will not be clearing any of the interviews, and your responses define your salary. Always remember, if you are walking into a 10 LPN interview, it is not completely fixed. Depending on your answers, if you are a much more fit candidate, he will push you into something furthermore like 15-20 LPA. Okay, and he might push you into some other position. Okay, the HR, he might think, arey yaar, he is a very good candidate, so instead of here, we can hire him here. He will make you an offer right there. Okay, I've seen a number of candidates who had gone for one format of job, but depending on their interviews and the skills that they possess, the way of their presentation, they got something else much better than what they had expected. And there are also candidates who have seen that they went into the same interviews, they didn't get the job, now the job below that. Why? Because the presentation determines what actually you are. Okay, salary, it depends completely on the most part. It is not that they have mentioned in the advertisement you are going to this much of salary and he is going to provide. See, for example, about salary. See, the interviewer has a budget. Okay, जब interview कोई लेने के लिए आता है, तो he will be having already that budget कि 1 lakh rupees only. Okay, sorry, 1 lakh per month I like. Okay, 1 lakh per month. So in advertisement, what he'll say about 50 to 60k. In advertisement, he'll post 50 to 60k, but actually the budget that he will be having is 1 lakh per month. So looking at that, if you expect in the part of negotiation, if you expect that maximum you can only get 60,000, you will be on a loss, because you don't know how to negotiate, you don't know how to present the skills. Now if you even say 80k, depending on your answers and your skills, he might give you 80k, but he will not give you 110. ओके 1,10,000 नहीं देंगे, क्यों? अपना बजट जो है 1 लाख ही होगा. तो इंटरव्यू को जाने से पहले आपको थोड़ी रिसर्च करनी पड़ेगी. यू हैव टू डू सम रिसर्च एंड एनालिसिस दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर कंपनी दैट आई एम वर्किंग इनटू टू बी इंटरव्यूड, व्हाट इज देयर बजट सिस्टम. ओवरऑल रफ बेसिस थोड़ा देख लो, पता चल जाएगा. और दोज पीपल हु हैव एक्चुअली वर्क देयर, यू कैन गेट इनटू कांटेक्ट विद देम. ओके, ऑल यू हैव टू डिसाइड. And then coming back to the third part, and one more thing guys, there are various questions here. I'm not going to be discussing all these questions in this session. For that we'll deal with that in the batch. Okay, now coming back to the third part. See, after talk about yourself, tell about yourself, that is over, and after the question and answers are over, suppose you are a fit candidate. Now it comes to the negotiation part. See, I've seen almost about 90% of candidates, they don't negotiate. Okay, negotiate means you have to talk to them. You are selling yourself and they are buying you. You means literally they are buying your skills. Okay, so you have to negotiate the salary. Suppose the company is offering you 50,000 per month, then you have to talk to them. Sir, I think if you are okay, that is fine, but if you think that you had to get more, then you have to talk to them. Sir, I think this is very lesser, but according to this skill in market, I think we are getting about 60k. So 50k would be a very negative format for me. So I think it is a little bit off. And don't be straightforward. Okay, ऐसे नहीं कि आप मुंह पे कह रहे हो कि नहीं यार 50 नहीं 60 दो. Okay, that is not going to work. You have to talk professionally, because as you are selling, he is the person who is buying. If you get harsh, so he will lose his interest. He will think, अरे यार what a candidate. Okay, those kind of things you have to actually negotiate. See, salary negotiation is an important part. There is a skill and there is a task for that, and you have to also negotiate the additional facilities. Okay, whether they are providing you a bonus. Okay, bonus कभी दोगे आप, कितना दोगे, you have to talk to them. Provident fund, okay, holidays, the number of holidays, and whether the rent allowances, travel allowances, you have to always speak out to them in interviews only. If there is a different person and if it is confidential, the HR will let you know, sorry sir, we can't discuss that because it is confidential. But if it is open to discussion, you have to discuss that. It depends guys, it depends on the company, that either it is confidential or it is open to discussion. And about the salary part, after the salary part, discussing about the company. Okay, you have to talk about the nature of how a company is. Now after the interview is over, he is not HR anymore and you are not the candidate anymore. You are just two professionals sitting in a room talking about the same content and the same thing. That is the ending part. After the entire interview is over, there is one question that HR commonly asks to the candidate. Do you have any questions? Okay, do you have any doubt, or do you want to ask something? I've seen a number of candidates say, no sir. Okay, okay. Say that kind of question at the end, when the interviewer asks, do you have any question? Okay, now he is like a friend to you. The interview is over, this is the ending part. So as a friend, okay, not in a very casual way, but a little casually, you can ask him whatever questions you have. Suppose for example, so if I get cleared in this interview, how much time is it going to take to onboard the position? Okay, कितना time लगेगा आकर join होने के लिए? And then you can also ask about how the ambience of the company is. मतलब कंपनी का हालात कैसा है, अच्छा है, या आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एम्बियंस, नेचर, खाना कैसे मिलेगा, अगर हो तो चाय अच्छी मिलेगी या नहीं, और एम्प्लॉयज़ आर दे फ्रेंडली, और इज इट अ हार्श कंडीशन, ओके, वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट और वेरी डल, दोज फॉर्मेट ऑफ थिंग्स. बी अ फ्रेंड एंड यू हैव टू talk to him. You can ask him, sir, what are your experiences that you have been working here so long? आपने यहाँ पर काम किया हुआ है, अब आप HR भी हैं, तो बहुत से कैंडिडेट्स को आप मिले होंगे, तो is there any suggestion that you are going to provide? Okay, those kind of friendly questions you have to ask them. And always remember, he is a person and you are a person. According to the position talk. अभी इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप कुछ भी बात करो. Okay, have you seen cricket or have you watched this movie? Those kind of things In the end, on a very light basis, if the person is interested, ask him. If he is not interested, just leave it. And sometimes what happens, the HR, the person actually, they ask, आपने ये movie देखी? Okay, even if you haven't watched it, don't directly say no. Okay, to any question that HR asks on a personal basis, don't provide direct answers, some relatable answers. सर देखी तो नहीं है लेकिन मेरा फ्रेंड बता रहा था कि अच्छी है. Okay, and yesterday did you watch that cricket and what a shot it was. Okay, if you have watched, then talk a little bit. Okay, ये मत कहना कि क्या सर क्या सिक्स था, मतलब दबा के ऐसा. Okay, so don't say that. Oh, that was a very good shot, sir. Okay, and just come back to this subject. And if you haven't watched it, oh, I missed it, sir. Sorry about that. Okay, that kind of response on a friendly basis. Okay, so these are some part of interviews, guys. On a short basis, I try to tell you what actually happens, and at the ending, you must tell him, see, he is actually a person who has been working, and it is a very difficult position being a HR because he is very busy. It might be very annoying. So while coming out of the interview, say something to him that he actually is, that might be admirable. He will like to hear it. For example, I know, sir, recruitment might be a quite difficult thing. I hope you are doing well. Okay, so this kind of thing. I had actually used that line not because I wanted that job, but because the HR actually looked very stressful. So looking at him, I thought, you are looking very stressful, sir. Are you okay? Okay, that kind of a question. So he thought, Arey, yeah, I had forgotten. I am a human being too. Okay, so that kind of a relatable and connectable way. Please be very open to them. And open in the sense, in these boundaries, don't be very open and don't be very frank. So you have to be on a neutral and very minimalistically open basis. Okay, so always remember these points that we have actually tried to mention. So furthermore, discussing the questions and in-depth analysis of all these points that we have actually mentioned, we'll be doing that in the batch, guys. Once we start up the sessions, once we start up the classes, we are going to be conducted that. Once again, these sessions are going to be conducted on an online basis. Okay, the pre-batch is the batch that we have launched in. It is open now. The admissions are open. Join in if you're keenly interested, and don't just join in thinking that you are going to get a job and you're going to get something out of it. Okay, please don't do that, because be technical. Okay, think on a logical basis, and only then you can join. If you think that it is going to help you, join. If you think it is going to be a devastating thing, then don't join. It finally comes up to you. I'm saying that think and join. And if you're interested, join us at the Mastery Academy. The application, like I said, is available. Download it. You will get some information regarding that. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. The part 2 of interview preparation. Check out the part 1 too, and in a flow you'll get connected with us. And then soon we are going to introduce some of very different sessions and very important questions in the MNC skills program. So stay tuned and connected with us. Once again, guys, thank you once for joining us on this wonderful occasion of YouTube session brought to you by Mastery Academy. Be seeing you again, guys, in the next session. Join the Mastery Academy. I know you are, guys. That's it, guys. Thank you. Take care and bye.